Good afternoon. This is the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners for Tuesday, October 16, 2018. I'm Commissioner Bud Blake, Chair of the Board this year. I'd like to start off by doing a few introductions. To my left is Commissioner Gary Edwards. To my right is Commissioner John Hutchings. To his right is Valentina Bodmar, Clerk of the Board. To her right is the County Manager, Romero Chavez. And to his right is the Assistant County Manager, Robin Campbell. And to her right is Elizabeth Petcher, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney. With that in mind, I'll have asked Commissioner Edwards to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
And I, in turn, sir, am going to ask my friend Bill Muma to lead us in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you, Bill. That was very kind of you. With that in mind, we'll just move to, is there a motion to approve today's agenda?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve today's agenda, October 16, 2018.
Second?
It's been moved and second to approve Tuesday, October 16, 2018 agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries. And is there a motion for the board meeting minutes for 9 October 2018?
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Alrighty, so next we have the opportunity for the public to address the board. And I'll kind of go over the house rules real quick, and then we'll get into the portion of it. So speakers are limited to 3 minutes when they come to the board, to the podium to speak to the board. You cannot donate your 3 minutes to any other person. We ask you to silence your cell phones for anybody out there in the audience. No outbursts, lewd or offensive, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory wording or language, and any remarks for land use permits or something that that would come to the Board of Appeals. We ask you to hold there and wait until we actually have the actual the Board of Appeals format. That way we can do it in that format specifically then. Okay, so then Romero has a comment.
Also, no electioneering during your public testimony. Thank you.
Okay, so 3 minutes is on your right, on my left, and we have those who do the first come, first serve sign in. And then when you come to the podium, I ask you to state where you're from generally in the county and give me your first and last name, and then start with the 3 minutes. And so the first person I have is Mr. Captain Mark Stearns.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Hi, Mark.
Afternoon.
How are you? Thank you for having this public forum for us. I am Mark Stearns, Captain Mark Stearns with the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army has been a fixture of Thurston County for 130 years. We arrived in 1889 and have served continuously since that time. Over that time, we have served thousands of Thurston County residents with their needs, whether it be rental assistance, utility assistance, feeding, or whatever they needed. This year has been a very difficult year for the Salvation Army in that we have lost one of our revenue streams. It means that we're going to be losing $250,000 every year from this point going forward. So what does losing $250,000 mean? It means that the 24/7 shelter that we had been working so diligently on to open up is not going to be opening up until we get the funding for that shelter. Yes, we are continuing to work on that shelter. The construction is still ongoing because we believe the people of Thurston County will step up and see the need and will help fund that, that situation. But what can you do to help us out? There's a lot of things you can do. One of them is we are going to be having a kettle kickoff on the 16th of November. And that is our time to get out there and ring the bells and to get the community involved in our fundraising process. I would love to see each one of you three commissioners take a bell in hand and get out there and ring the bell in front of Fred Meyer or wherever it takes and help raise the funds there. I'd like to see you at the kettle kickoff and help kick the season off in style. And of course, all three of you have got some style, don't you not?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, Is this a financial crisis for the Salvation Army? Yes, indeed. Is this something that can be overcome? Yes. And that means that all of Thurston County can come together and help the Salvation Army continue its mission that we have had for 130 years. And as I'm looking at the TV cameras now, I'm going to be talking to the people of Thurston County. If you would like to volunteer, come by our offices at 820 Fifth Avenue and sign up, because every volunteer matters. We need your help more than ever in 2018 and beyond. Thank you so
You
much.
bet. Thank you so much for your great words, sir.
Before you leave.
Say a word. I know you want to say a word. Hang on.
Say a word?
Hang on.
I got it.
I have to ask, the funding source that you lost, what was it? Disregard that, I think. We're on my minute now. What, you say you lost $250,000?
We had a funding source that we had for many, many years.
Okay, so
And
it's not
just a
something-
funding stream that we had, and that funding stream dried up, and now we have to find another source of income.
Okay, give me a call about the bell ringing and such.
Will do, will do. You're already on.
Oh,
Hang on a second. We got one.
So the kickoff is the 16th.
Yes.
Is that a kickoff just countywide, or is there a specific?
That kickoff is going to be at the Salvation Army Church at 1505 4th Avenue. And it's going to be a dinner, and we're asking you to host a table, bring 8 of your best friends, and be prepared to kick off the season.
Now, I've done bell ringing in the past, and I'm not kidding you, without a doubt, it is a lot of fun. You're jaw-jacking with all kinds of people.
Indeed.
And it's a great fundraiser, but it's a lot of fun to do that. People should not be intimidated or shy away from that.
No, it is fun.
It's a kick.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Captain, and welcome back home from Arizona.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I just have nothing but great praises for the Salvation Army, from sheltering to food, just good care and love that they bring to the community, and we certainly look forward to helping and supporting as much as we can with the Salvation Army.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Okay. So that was item number 1. We'll go to item number 2, which is the county manager's update, and I'll turn to Romero and see if there's any comments.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'd just like to follow up on the current project that we have related to the courthouse and civic center. We are currently having a community open house, and the public has many opportunities to participate on this particular project, because we would love to hear what you have to say about this particular venture. Yesterday, we had a couple of open houses, one in Yelm and the other one in Tenino. Today, we have a day-long session at the Olympia Center located at 222 Columbia Street Northwest. And the sessions was one at 9 o'clock, the other one at 10:30. We have 1:30, 3 in the afternoon, and also 6 in the afternoon. Also, we have additional public meetings, one on November 6th, and that is going to be held at the Lacey Community Center, located at 6729 Pacific Avenue Southeast. And again, it's going to be one session at 9 in the morning, 10:30 in the morning. The next is going to be 1:30 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon, and the last session will be at 6 in the afternoon. November 7, we will have another public open house at the City of Rainier, located at 102 Rochester Street West, Rainier. And also November 7th, 6 in the afternoon, will be located at Rochester High School Commons at 19800 Carpenter Road, Southeast Rochester. Thank you.
So those are dates and times for open house for the new courthouse civic center discussion. Only
That
at
is
this
correct.
point. So if you-
Where the public will have the opportunity to provide some feedback on the top 3 potential sites that you might be considering as we move forward under this project.
All right. Any comments, questions?
No? Yes?
Go ahead.
Aside from soliciting comments about the site selection and such, are we still trying to convince the public that ceiling tires are falling out and the condition or lack of condition of the courthouse? Are we still trying to get that message across?
Yeah, and it will continue to, as I said, tell our story. But I believe the citizens who visit the courthouse and do business here at the courthouse can attest for themselves the conditions of the courthouse. couple of weeks ago, we lost power, and that was affected the services that were provided to the citizens. And the courts mainly were affected to a great extent. And as you may recall, you have declared an emergency to deal with that particular loss of power because it's really related to the aging infrastructure this facility has. It's over 40 years old, and we're just seeing the consequences of that infrastructure.
It was like I was walking into the Kingdom a couple weeks ago and I saw ceiling tiles on the floor downstairs where the jury hangs out.
Correct.
All righty. The next item we have is the consent items, and today we have consent items A through E, and I'll ask if there's a motion for those particular consent items.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve consent items A through E.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve consent items A through E. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries as well. So we'll move to the department items, and that's item number 4. And the first department item we have is from Emergency Services. And we have the appointment to the Emergency Medical Services Council. Mr. Kurt Harding from Emergency Services Director for Thurston County is going to give us a little bit of background and tell us the appointment of Mr. Tom Farrell, Dr. Tom Farrell.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners. Again, my name is Kurt Hardin, Director of Emergency Services here. Coming to ask you to appoint Dr. Tom Fell as the emeritus position to the EMS Council. With me, I have Chief Wright from the Olympia Fire Department. He's the chair of the Ops Committee for EMS Council. And I have Vice Chair Stan Moon, and they want to come up and say a few minutes, say a few comments as well regarding the nomination of Dr. Fell. So.
You bet. We need to talk to Mr. Moon. How you doing, Stan?
Thank you.
It's good. Long time no see.
And as Kurt said, I'm Stan Moon. I'm a fire commissioner with Fire District 6, East Olympia, and vice chair of the EMS Council. To give a little bit of background, in 1974, the Medic One program was developed by the efforts of Dr. Brown and others. After a year, he departed to attend Stanford to upgrade his training in the field of anesthesia and paramedic programs. At that time, he turned the program over to Dr. Fell. And when Dr. Brown returned, the two of them rotated for the medical program director position. Each would volunteer for a 2-year time period. They were not paid, but practiced, were totally focused on making the program one of the best in the country. As a practicing anesthesiologist, Dr. Fell realized the need to have board-certified emergency room physicians as the MPD. He also created a program where new paramedics would come in for a rotation at the hospital, spent time with him and watching, learning, and doing. Dr. Fell quickly developed a reputation as a tough but fair anesthesiologist and worked to make himself available for the paramedic rotations. Many paramedics left their rotation feeling they had not passed, but only to receive a good job from Dr. Fell. So he's got quite a reputation in that area. EMTs were also trained by Dr. Fell in the ER, and their experiences were somewhat the same. He is very much respected and admired by EMS personnel throughout the county. Dr. Fell always attended the Emergency Medical Services Council meeting, so was appointed to the council in 1985. He has served over 32 years on the council and has been active in the Medic One program since its inception. The council recommends your appointment of Dr. Fell to this position, and Chief Wright has some other information that I think you'll enjoy hearing about Dr. Fell.
You bet. Hello, Chief Wright. How you doing there, sir?
Good. How are you?
All right, all right.
So I'm Greg Wright, Fire Chief for City of Olympia. I'm the chair of the Operations Committee, which reports to the EMS Council. So 33 years ago, when I came into the system, I had to go see Dr. Fell at the OR to make sure that I could be a paramedic here. At that point, Dr. Fell had already been in the system 10 years. So of the total history of Medic One, he's been involved in every year but one of them, and most likely he already knew about it before Dr. Brown called him up. It was a scary experience. He was there to make sure we knew how to do the job in the field. That was his primary mission at that point. He did a very good job of it. My secret is that I didn't have to go through Dr. Fell. I went through a different doctor because Dr. Fell was out of the country on one of his many medical missions at that time. He doesn't talk much about it, but he did not only serve Thurston County. He took his skills across the country, across the world to less fortunate people, and that was a regular thing that he did throughout his career. Years later, when my wife had surgery, Dr. Fell was her anesthesiologist, and as I walked in there, I knew she was in good hands. He's a very quality person in what he does. Over the past 20 years, I've had the pleasure of working with Dr. Fell on the EMS Council. I've even called him by his first name a time or two. His first name is Tom, but almost everyone calls him Dr. Fell, but I feel an honor to be able to use his first name from time to time. He made sure the system was grounded, was doing good care, and not just chasing after the latest shiny object. He was not afraid to ask tough questions or point out concerns in a way that could seem gruff, but in reality were a place of deep caring for people and the system. He managed to balance those things very well. Dr. Fell has offered his continued service in the emeritus position. That comes with 43 years of Medic One experience, the heart of a medical missionary for people, a critical eye for care, and the willingness to stand on his principles. Medic One needs people like Dr. Tom Fell. Our community needs people like Dr. Tom Fell. Please accept Dr. Tom Fell as the emeritus member of the EMS Council. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for those great words, sir. Kurt, did you have something else?
Just want to wrap up and say that you have strong recommendations here for the appointment of Dr. Fell as an emeritus position.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Any questions, comments?
No, I've had the opportunity to work for a lot of years with Dr. Fell, so I echo my complete support and congratulations to him in receiving this, because we might have done it one other time, something similar, and I mean, it doesn't happen very often. No. So we are truly recognizing his commitment to this community.
And I don't think I know Dr. Tom Fell at all, but just based on what you said, and Stan Moon and Greg, nice to see you again, Greg, based on your recommendation and what you've said about him, I don't hesitate.
Yeah, the 1 year I was there on the council, it was absolutely professional and rewarding to be able to serve with Dr. Fell. So, is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Dr. Tom Fell to the Emergency Medical Services Council Emeritus position.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and your motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, gentlemen. It's very kind of you. Next, we have number 5, which is the Public Health and Social Services. We have Shelley Slaughter, the Director of Public Health and Social Services for Thurston County. She's going to give a little bit of background on the approval of Amendment number 4 to the Washington State Department of Health 2018-2020 Consolidated Contract number CLH18264. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Again, I am Shelley Slaughter. I'm Director of Thurston County Public Health and Social Services, and I'm here today to ask for your approval of Amendment number 4 to the Washington State Department of Health 2018-2020 Consolidated Contract. The Consolidated Contract is the mechanism of which state and federal funds are transmitted to local health jurisdictions. These amendments occur every 2 months, and I come to you for approval every time it exceeds my approval rate, and I'm happy to share that the increased amount today that I'm asking you to approve is $507,500. This amendment will add statement of work for the following programs: the Office of Public Health Emergency Preparedness and Response, the Office of Immunization and Child Profile, our perinatal hepatitis B program, tuberculosis program, increasing immunization rates, our tobacco vapor prevention programs, our child lead poisoning program, maternal child health block grant program, and our national estuary program for on-site septic systems. We will be sharing this news on social media and on our website for various programs, and this is tied to Initiative 1 of Thurston County Strategic Plan, Improving Health Outcomes for All.
Wow. Did you get it all for you there? Or you got a
I
question?
just want you to keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
How about you?
No.
No? All right, is there a motion to approve?
Yes, I move to approve Amendment number 4 to the State of Washington Department of Health 2018-2020 Consolidated Contract number CLH18264, increasing the contract by $507,500 for a revised maximum consideration not to exceed $1,000,000 $672,607 for the duration of January 1, 2018 through December 31, 2020, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign the amendment and any future amendments that do not revise the approved dollar amount or duration of the contract by more than 15%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and your motion carries.
Thank you so much,
You bet.
Commissioners.
Thank you there, Shelley. 5B is the approval of the 2019 Veteran Emergency Shelter contracts, and we have Mr. Moffitt, Mark Moffitt, he's a community program manager. He would have to tell us a little bit about the Veteran Emergency Shelter contract.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. The Veterans Assistance Program Emergency Shelter Request for Proposals was issued in February of 2018. 3 applications for funding were received. A quorum of the Veterans Advisory Board met on August 29, 2018. They reviewed all submissions and recommended 2 of the 3 submissions. County funds under this contract would reimburse the agencies for shelter night stays for veterans residing at the emergency shelters who meet the eligibility criteria for the Veterans Assistance Fund. In addition, community meals are also provided by both shelters. Recommend that the board moves to approve Veterans Assistance Program contracts between the Thurston County and Catholic Community Services for a total of $32,850, as well as the Thurston County Salvation Army for $41,114, to fund 2 projects for a combined total maximum of $73,964 for the 2019 program year, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign the contracts and any amendments that do not change the approved dollar amount or duration by more than 15%.
So moved.
Do you have any questions of Mark?
Mark, I do have a question. We just heard from the Salvation Army, and they lost some funding. If we were able to help a little more, is that a possibility we could gain some more bed spaces into an area that they previously had committed, but maybe don't now?
Well, I heard that for the first time too today, so I went out and spoke to Mark, and we reimburse for the beds. We don't pay up front.
Okay.
But he said the cold weather beds are still going to be there, so if a veteran comes in, we can still do that by night. It's the long-term shelters that are going to be at jeopardy if they don't get the funding.
Okay, thank you very much for looking at that.
Any questions, comments?
Yep, Mark, between these 2 contracts, about how many veterans are served?
Excuse me.
Just a raw, I know it's going to be a raw number, I would imagine.
Well, we'll have the option of 2,190 bed nights with both of them.
Okay, that's the max capacity.
That's the maximum capacity, yes.
Okay.
We do have we haven't seen that much in the past. Last year we did 838 bed nights, so it gives us some flexibility.
Beautiful. And thank you for what you're doing for us.
Yes, sir, thank you.
For the veterans too, thank you.
And I second that. Thank you so much, Mark, for what you do and the whole veterans program. So is there a motion?
Yeah, Mark made it for me.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to read that part.
I move to approve veteran emergency shelter contracts between Thurston County and Catholic Community Services for $32,850 and Thurston County Salvation Army for $41,114 to fund 2 projects for a combined total maximum amount of $73,964 for the 2019 program year, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign the contracts and any amendments that do not change the approved dollar amount or duration by more than 15%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and your motion carries, Mark.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Next, we have Mr. Gary Aiden. It's good to see you, Gary. He's going to tell us a little bit about the CAPER, which is the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, and he's going to ask to set a public hearing on November 27, 2018. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Thank
All
you.
right. What is CAPER?
Gary Aiden, Public Health and Social Services. The CAPER is a report required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development that reports on the expenditures under the Community Development Block Grant and the Home Investment Partnerships Act programs here in the county. It reports over the period of our program year, which begins on September 1, in this case, September 1 of 2017 through August 30 of 2018. So we report on that period, all of the expenditures and projects that we did for the last year. We have to have a public hearing as required by HUD, and then we submit the contents of the CAPER report to HUD, and then we're done for the year. HUD requires two public hearings, one at the beginning of the year, which you do in July, and one in this time of year, which closes for the CAPER. Happy to answer any questions. Our request is that you would set a public hearing date.
Any comments, questions?
No, thank you very much.
And do we know, is the CDBG grant money the same every year?
No, it changes every year based on what Congress gives us.
Okay. And do we have any idea what
Not a
what
lack
it's
of
going to be?
The amount for this year, we'd guess around 1.2 million
1.2 million, okay.
for CDBG and about 700,000 for home.
All right, thank you, Gary.
Yes, sir.
All right, is no other further comment? Is there a motion to approve?
I move to set a public hearing for November 27, 2018 at 3 p.m. at the Thurston County Courthouse, Building Number 1 in Room 280, or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard, to receive public comment on the 2017 HUD Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Gary Aden. Okay, so now we move on to item number 6, which is commissioners and county managers items. And so this is where the point where the commissioners are able to talk about their work sessions, committees, or anything they've seen in the general public they'd like to comment or make a statement. You have anything you'd like to say?
I guess I'll just keep this very short. My week consisted mostly of water issues, mostly water quality, Puget Sound as well, the Orca issue, and the gopher issue as well, and the Thurston Conservation District. So that pretty much, those were the highlights of my week.
Okay, great. How about you, sir?
Now, I won't be as brief.
No.
I attended the Tenino City Council meeting last Tuesday to an unusually packed house. They generally don't pack it down there, but it was packed. It's due to the Timberland Library consolidation plan, what they're doing with the library system. Attended the Transportation Policy Board meeting at 7 in the morning. The ORCA, or the Olympic Region Clean Air Agency Board meeting last week. The Thurston Chamber Community Forum at the Hotel RL, and attended the lot board meeting last Wednesday evening, and just got back from the employee recognition, annual employee recognition luncheon at lot, which is always a lot of fun, and there's got some brilliant, dedicated people working there. Attended the Olympia Free Clinic Fall Breakfast fundraiser at the Community Center downtown Olympia, and it's a very important fundraiser for the free clinic with some touching stories. And attended the TMBHO, the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization agenda setting and board meeting, and attended the It's for Kids luncheon. I think it was a lunch put on by the North Thurston Educational Foundation last week. There was hundreds of people there, and that was it for the week outside of this room.
It's a lot.
Grief. It is crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to start off by saying yes. I also attended the Olympia Free Clinic breakfast. It was great to be there as part of the fundraiser and support their many contributions to the downtown and greater Thurston County area. Without them, they fill a huge gap as far as assisting those who are in need. A lot of the other stuff I did was more in tune with the Thurston Thrives initiative, and I'll kind of go through it real kind of quick, but the Housing Action Team met, and we are discussing our priorities for the upcoming 2 years of housing projects, both what we call brick and mortar and or services. And so we have our next meeting is on 14 November, and we'll lay out those priorities more in detail and then schedule those, and then we'll wait to see what kind of funding we have and match that against that. And there's a huge long process over November, December, and January to match that money with those actions. And then by February, we start going out for requests for proposals to see who can actually fulfill those gaps. In that, though, we have the incentivized housing, and we talked about some of the legislative Incentivized Housing is absolutely a great team under the Housing Action Team. We talked about some of the legislative things that are coming up in January and February of next year over here across the thing. And then we talked about the condo liability reform. That is such a critical piece that we're going to try to pursue here in January through next year. With that, if we get our druthers, we'll change the way people think about how to do condos, in the sense that it's not such a scrutinized effort. And when we release some of those issues that are binding the condo industry, we might be able to open up to, say, 200 homes almost immediately overnight once we get some legislation that's passed. So we're super excited about that. And then finally, I'll conclude that we had the Hazardous Weather Task Force. This is another great team that looks at those who, when we have a cold snap, we have what we call a Code Blue program. And with that, then we have those people who need to come in out of the cold into a warm place. We have certain designated areas throughout the 3 cities and some of Thurston County to be able to house them, say, for 96 hours or less. And I use the word house loosely there because it's not sheltering or permanent supportive housing. It's just to bring them into a warm area. There are mats and those kinds of things where people lay down to rest and what have you. But it's really about saving lives. It's not about doing any kind of the housing pieces that the Housing Action Team does, but it's super connected in a lot of different ways. So this time period is from 1 November to 30 April, and we went over some of the funding and some of the locations and some of the new adjustments of how we get faith-based involved and a little bit more as far as the jurisdictions, Lacey, Olympia, Tumwater, kind of a collaborative effort. So a lot of good stuff happening, getting prepped for the winter and all the things that come along with that and housing, and it's just really a fun time. So with that, I'll turn it over to Romero.
Would you add something, please?
Sure.
Give an advert for the domestic violence tomorrow evening.
Yes.
Especially in light of the horrific, tragic murder-suicide from the Michaels last Friday.
Yes. Well, I'll speak more to the event tomorrow on 17 October at 5:30 at the Olympia Yacht Club. We invite every single male here in Thurston County to come to the Olympia Yacht Club at 5:30. And really it's a community statement to say no more allowing of domestic violence against women here in Thurston County or anywhere in the world. But of course we want Thurston County to be domestic violence free. And so it's our 4th year in kind of theory that works, that we did our first year was 100 men, second year is 100 men, third, fourth, fifth, and if it takes 10 years to get, or 20 years to get to every single male out there in Thurston County, we want you to be a part of that statement to say enough is enough, and that if you need help or if you see something, say something. It's not what am I trying to say? It's not a fraternity kind of thing. It's just come there and make a statement as a collective effort that it starts with men first saying no. And I think that's a powerful statement just to come there and do that. And we have refreshments and we have a couple guest speakers, and it's really a neat thing. So I invite everybody to come. So
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you for reminding me. Romero.
Thank you, Commissioners. First of all, happy Bosses Day.
Yeah.
I have some cupcakes to share with you, provided by Shelley Slaughter, the Director of Public Health Social Services. Also, as a reminder for the public, there will not be a Board of County Commissioners meeting next week, October 23rd, 2018, as you will be deeply involved in budget deliberations. So let me walk you through your combined calendar for the next 2 weeks. The appointments that I'm going to be stating in my report is where at least 2 commissioners are present. You may have individual appointments on your individual calendars, and those will not be part of my report. Starting today, Tuesday, October 16 at 3:30 in the afternoon, you have your regular board meeting of the Transportation Benefit District. Wednesday, October 17th, 9 in the morning, you will have budget work sessions. At 12 noon, you will have a luncheon combined with elected officials and the appointed directors. That's where the executive assistants of the different offices and departments will treat you all with lunch. At 1:30 tomorrow, you will convene to continue with the budget work sessions. Thursday, October 18, at 9 in the morning, continue with the work sessions meetings. 10/18, on 10/18 is the great shakeout, and we may have to hold the budget presentations to participate on this particular event. At 1:30 in the afternoon tomorrow, on Thursday, October 18th, you will continue with the budget work sessions. Friday, October 19th, your budget work sessions will be from 10:30 to 11:30, and you will be working through lunch on Friday. Moving on to Monday, October 22nd, that's when the budget deliberations will begin. And that will include all the restricted funds that you have few conversations a couple of weeks ago. In the general fund, there will be the presentations this week. And that will start at 1:30 in the afternoon on October 22nd, Tuesday, October 23rd. Again, the Board of County Commissioners regular meeting has been canceled. And you will have work sessions at 9 in the morning and 1:30 in the afternoon. Wednesday, October 24th, you will continue with your budget deliberations at 9 in the morning, and then moving on to 2 in the afternoon. You also have an invitation to participate on the workshop for elected officials related to the roadmap to the Washington future. And that is going to be located at the Thurston Regional Planning Council, located at 2424 Heritage Court, Southwest Suite A. Thursday, October 25th, at 8 in the morning, you will have the opportunity to open some remarks to the JBLM Day of Service. That's a welcome ceremony with servicemen from the Joint Base Lois McCord will come and do some projects in the area to help the community. You will come back on Thursday, October 25th at 9 in the morning to continue your budget deliberations. You will break for lunch, come back here at 2 in the afternoon to continue with the conversation on the budget. By Friday, October 26th, you will continue to have your budget deliberations. At that point, you will consider having a final decisions on the overall budget, as we need to meet some of the requirements in terms of the timeline. Where right now is scheduled for you to take a final vote on the budget on December 14, 2018. But before that happens, there's a couple of items required by law that we need to follow. More to come on that schedule. And that's all I have for you.
That's all.
All right. Great. Any other comments or questions?
Oh, good, sir.
No, sir.
Nope.
Nope.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn the Board of County Commissioner meeting of October 16, 2018.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. We are adjourned.